back, and you touch with the big toe. Okay? That's
Honestly, I've seen 50 years old when they're the foot is constantly up in the air, one of them. 7 place needs to be touched. I couldn't say this, I said, brother, looking in pain. Regularly, one of the foot is like here.
So you should tell them.
Well, I did
respectfully.
mention them before, but at that time you're not sure that.
So the toe has to be touching the ground. Now, when we have all the 7 masajid on the ground at the same time, that's when we start with the dhikr and we say Subhana Rabbiyal A'la wa bihamdih. One time is enough. Don't start before everything is on the ground, and don't move before you finish the dhikr. If during the dhikr your hand moves, put it down and repeat the whole thing. Repeat the dhikr. Okay? Now there are the next form is your hand like this, okay, straight ahead towards Qibla and near your face. Okay, this is how sujood is the perfect sujood. It could be like this, could be like this, could be like this. That's all acceptable as long as the palm is touching the ground. But this is the best way. Okay.
So is it your elbow should be above the ground or your elbow should be?
Excellent question. Excellent question. Mustahab to be above the ground.
Because some people I've seen just lay on the ground from
Yes. Above the ground, away from you, and a little bit bended, like it's called tajneeh. This is the best way to do it. Okay, above, away from you, and a little bit
There's
bended.
no problem if you put it on the ground as well.
It's better if you raise it.
The ladies for them.
Ahsan. This is mustahab for ladies to touch,
Ladies
mustahab for
different.
men to raise.
Yes, but if you're
touching
your
it,
arm
then
is-
you
whole
counting
arm
how
is
much
on the
sticks.
ground.
Yes.
If the whole arm is on the ground.
It doesn't void the sujood. It is acceptable, but it is mustahab for men to have.
Sometimes in Jama'at they get short of space or something.
Of course.
Well,
That's
difficult.
Well, let's suggest to avoid confusion. And the Prophet said makruh means you can do it, but
You can
you
do it,
provide
yes.
it.
What you're
Mustahab
saying
is
is-
you better to do it, but you don't have
Yes.
to do
Now
it.
there's a secondary reason why I can't do it. So now you don't have to do it, because now if you do it, you're going to hurt other people. Now, generally speaking, during the sujood, we said the toe has to be touching the ground. Here is the big toe, okay? There is the end of the toe, the outside and the inside, okay? It is the mustahab is the end of the toe to be on the ground. But actually, according to many maraji, including Sayyid Sistani, it could be the outside or the inside. So your toe might be curved in or outwards, inwards or outwards, as long as it's touching the ground. Now, here is the mustahab. For men, it is mustahab to be the end of the toe on the ground. For women, the inside. I don't want to go into details, but everything is different for women when it comes to mustahab. Now, we don't have to worry much about that, because any form is accepted. When we say mustahab, it means this is the perfect form, a better form. So for men, the hands are like this, and the big toe is like this. Now, except for sajda to shukr, which is after you finish the salah, or whenever you want to thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you want to do sajda shukr. Sajda to shukr, actually, men's sajda is exactly similar as women's sajda when it comes to sajda to shukr. Here's how you do sajda to shukr. The hands are like this, but not far away, close to the face. The whole elbow is on the ground, the whole arm is on the ground, elbows are touching your sides, and all of you are gathered
Eyes are closed and yeah,
Yes.
basically you close and
Knees
compact.
are closed,
You come in
and
here for
finally
definition.
the thumb is like this. Okay? So it's, and actually it is mustahab to have your chest touching the ground if you can, but it's very hard
It's
to do.
basically as close and compact you can.
Yes.
Yes.
That is sajda
Sajda
shukr, not the general sujood. General sujood, we said, for men, they are like this, they have like their back up, but for women it is different.
Muhammad, if like I'm wearing this one and doing a sajda, or I have a big hair and coming over there and touching like
Because between
Sorry, I don't understand.
I'm saying if I'm wearing this one, I'm doing a sajda, or I've got a big hair which is touching
You're wearing something.
the tur.
Your forehead has to touch the turba or the ground. So you have to move it a little bit to back. If you forgot, you went down and you actually did sujood on your
Yeah.
hat.
Yeah.
What you do is that time, try not to take your head up
Okay.
and move the hat back while your head is still touching.
Right.
Because there's so many problems with sujood.
Okay.
We'll come to now.
And what about the hair? Like if the hair is down much big and is coming over there and
No.
Watch Baba Show.
Move it.
What about gloves?
Have a pony.
Yeah.
It's not even.
Or use a chair.
I'm not.
I mean, my reasoning is, you can wear socks and pray. You're wearing this, these are covered, that is covered, so why not the hands?
So you can't have one reasoning that the thing.
Yeah.
You need to follow them.
No,
It is logical, but for us, either we become mushtahab or the
Ahsan.
tabligh.
that's why
So far,
I'm very worried
yeah.
about saying.
Exactly.
I'm like 90% sure one way or the other. I know exactly. I'm 90%, but I will ask and I will come back with the answer. So, okay. Sometimes the place of the sajda is higher than the ground. So some people like have 2 sajdas above or 3 or whatever. As there is a certain height, when the sajda arrives at that height, the sujood will be void, which is about 4 fingers, about roughly 4 fingers. So if the sajda is higher than this, there is a problem. Okay? And actually, we have 7 masajid. Any of them, if it's higher or lower than the others by 4 fingers, there's a problem. So that is why when you want to pray, you have to make sure the ground is level as much as possible. Okay?
Mohammed, I've seen the people like putting a 2 sajda
Yes.
and they're touching this, their
Nose as well.
Okay. Now, it is mustahab to touch the ground with the nose. Sujood is about humbling yourself. And Arabs used to say, there's a saying, to humble yourself, to put your nose in the ground. So to humble yourself to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it is mustahab to also touch the ground with your nose. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. The greatest of creations of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? He used to put his nose in the ground, humbling himself towards near Allah.
But if the nose is touching, it means 8 things is touching the ground. Is it
That's not
is it right?
That's not possible.
7 is wajib, this is mustahab.
Yes.
Yes.
Better.
So, 7 wajib. There is mustahab nose. There is makruh your elbow. There is something which void the sujood. Say for example, someone is laying on the ground flat, like on a cross, right, like this, but on the ground. So the 7 will be touching, but also the whole body. That's not a sujood. That's not accepted. So it's a good question because there are some things that are wajib, mustahab, makruh, and some things that will void the sujood. So the nose will be one of those. Okay.
One question. Your sajda only starts once you start reciting, isn't it? So sometimes you put your head on the sajda and then you feel that you need to move it a bit.
Adjust.
So you adjust it. So that's still okay. Is that can't you just 2 sajdas?
No. Once your face touches the sajda, it is one sajda. There is a problem, and it's a very big problem if you move your head away from the sajda. Now, while you're touching, if you're moving on the ground, that's no problem. If, for example, you went down and then it's
You lift
too
it
short for
slightly.
you, you want to slide it, you slide it, but without
Sometimes
moving
with the
the head.
forehead, without lifting it up. That's
So if
fine.
you lift it slightly and move
If
your
you
sajda
lift
up,
it slightly, there's a problem.
so that counts as a sajda.
It might count to sajda.
But
Actually,
you've not
here-
recited anything.
Actually, if you raise your forehead from the ground by mistake, before you complete the zikr or during the sajda, do not place it back on the ground. You have done one sajda. So you raised by mistake or intentionally. I'm not going to say intention. You raised by mistake,
Yeah, yeah.
but you didn't say dhikr. Sayyid Sistani said, don't put it back. You already finished the sajda. Because if you keep moving back and forth, if every time you touch it, it's like one new sajda. So if a person raises his forehead from the ground by mistake, before the completion of the dhikr, one should not place it on the ground again. He should treat it as one sajda. Okay? Now, if the forehead of a person is raised involuntarily from the place of sajda, he should not, if possible, allow it to reach the place of the sajda again. So sometimes you go and you hit it and you
Bounce back.
you bounce back. It is so don't hit it again, don't go again, and this is treated as one sajda. Now, if one cannot control his head and it reaches the place of the sajda, again involuntarily. So you hit, you bounce, and then you go back involuntarily. Both of them will be reckoned as one sajda. This is the last case.
Even without zikr.
Yes. And if they has not uttered the dhikr, it is recommended as precaution that he will do it with the niyat of wudu. So when it comes to sajda, it is very problematic to raise your head from the sajda. Once you touch it with your head, try not to raise it. Okay? By mistake, if by mistake you raise it, don't go back.
Just wait.
Sit. If you are in first sajda, sit. go for the second. If you are in the second, you want to do tashahhud, do tashahhud.
So if you've not recited the zikr, you've touched it and you adjust it. So do you just count as one sajda?
From now on, don't move it. Now you know you can't voluntarily move your head. If it happens involuntarily and you haven't done the dhikr, don't worry about the dhikr. Raise up, you've done your sajda and continue with the salah. That is all except for in Salatul Jama'ah. That's why we don't want to talk about Salatul Jama'ah. Sometimes in Salatul Jama'ah you raise your head from the sajda thinking that the Imam has risen up and you realize they haven't. The Imam is still doing sujood. In Salatul Jama'ah you shouldn't go in front of the Imam. So he's still doing the sajda, you need to be still doing the sajda. Only in that case you go back. You go back. That is how important it is to not go before the Imam. That is so. The general rule: you don't go more than once in sajda, except where there is Imam Jama'ah. It is different.
And that happened in history.
Sometimes we, moving the sajda while there is a short of a space, that's we move around it, while before going to sajda. If there is short of space, we are
when you're going down
in the right position, we just
that's fine. You adjust it. That's yes. Sitting steadily between the sujood. This is called julus. Julus meaning sitting down. Any form of sitting down is accepted. We don't have a problem like other schools of Islam. They say your foot should be like this and your hand should be like this. They have 3 forms, I think, and they have forms that are haram. It's nonsense. Anything that could be called julus, sitting down, is accepted. However, there are perfect forms. The perfect form is to have the back of your right foot in the inside of your left foot, which is the way we all do it. This is the perfect form. However, some people can't because they have knee hurt or whatever, or they don't have a reason. I just don't want to sit like this. I want to sit in any form of sitting down is accepted, as long as you do sit down. So after you do the first sujood, before you do the second sujood, you have to do sitting down. And by sitting down, we mean you raise up until you are stable, steady, or even for 1 second. You don't have to say Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. You have to be steady for 1 second and then you go back. This is wajib. Now, after the second sujood, if we want to do tashahhud, we have to sit down anyway. If we are raising up to another rak'ah. So after the second sujood, the sitting down is also wajib, ihtiyat, wujubi, necessary precaution, obligatory precaution, sorry. So the first sujood is wajib, the second is obligatory precaution, okay? I know you like that. That's what I said. You like to know the difference. So Sistani says the second sitting is obligatory precaution. So anyways, we do sitting or julus after each rak'ah.
Can I add something that's come to my mind? A saying of Imam Hussain alayhi salam, that the sajda reminds you of the life and death. So when you raise your head from the turba first time, remember that you were created from clay. And you are sitting, when you are doing julus, that is the period of your life. That's how long it is. Between the period between the 2 sajdas is life. And then you go back into the sand, and then you disintegrate, and then you rise back up again, inshallah, and in the day of judgment. So think of those things when you are doing the sajda.
In the third and fourth.
You get some people in the Shia when they sit down, they've got their thumb or something twisted while sitting down. Is that allowed?
When they're sitting down, like
They're sitting down and they're praying, finishing the namaz, and it's twisted.
the
Sunnis do it,
that's fine. Any form of sitting down, it's acceptable. Yes.
Sorry, just one quick question.
Please.
Sorry about
No,
that.
no.
Like sometimes when you're praying and you can see like the baby is lying near you.
Yeah.
I'm just giving you my example. So sometimes you're looking the baby as well, and if you realize he or she is doing something, dangerous,
Yes.
can you like move your hand while you're praying, or you have to?
Small movement.
As long as you face
Generally.
Or some people say loudly Allahu Akbar, whatever.
Yes. Small movement is accepted. Moving is also accepted. Sometimes they are away. You can move a little bit You can move during the salah a little bit
Yeah.
until you reach them and solve the problem. Sometimes they steal your
Yeah.
turba,
Yeah.
and there is another one over there. You can move to take it.
But your
No.
namaz is not void.
It's not void. Now, if they were harming themselves, or if there is a problem, there is a fire or whatever, you have the right to
Break them.
stop the salah and save them. Even if the salah was in the last minute, so you either would do the salah or you would save them. They say there's a قاعدة فقهية دفع الضرر أولى من جلب المنفعة. So helping others and stopping the harm is more important than bringing the good, which is the salah. So in that case, you can break it, but you have to do it later on. However, what you're asking is, it's not like they're not harming themselves, but they might harm themselves. Like maybe there's something that a knife or something, and you want to move it away. It's okay. Small motion is okay, even if it requires you to move, like physically walk towards them.
Even raise the voice as well. Raise the
Yeah,
voice.
that's
Yes,
what
yes.
people-
What about you were saying as well, if there's anyone, like a kid or the adults ran off with it, there's one in the other room, what would you do then?
Sorry,
There's anyone say the God there, right, and the kids ran off with it.
with a turbo.
Yeah, turbo, yeah, and there's the other one in the other room, so turbo.
It happens plenty of time with me, brother. Plenty of time.
Oh, yeah. I
That's
know.
very common.
Now, generally, if you generally, before I tell you the answer, when there is nothing to do sujood on, but generally, if there is another turba nearby, you might want to move toward it, even if it was like at the end of the road. And it will take you like 3 minutes to walk because you can't walk quickly, you have to walk slowly.
Yeah.
But it is ihtiyat wujubi when you're moving to not say anything. So it's like you're posing your prayer. You move toward that place. You pick the sajda and you continue the salah over there if you can. If it was like very near the wall, you have to move back a little bit. That's fine. And when you have acquired the sajda, you continue the prayer. Sometimes it is not a sajda. Sometimes it is like you have a book, any book by the way.
Paper, yeah.
According to Sayyid you can. So open the book and put it on the ground. Or if you have anything on you that can be used as sajda. Now, there is nothing like that. There is no turba in the room. There is no other sajda in the room. Most of maraji', like Sayyid Khou'i said, you break the salah, you void the salah, you break it, and you bring a new sajda and you start from the beginning. Sayyid Sistani says no. In that case, you can do sujood on anything, even things that you aren't allowed to do sujood on. For example, the mattress itself, or the floor, whatever it is. So in that case, if the child steals this turba, and there is nothing nearby you can use, you can continue the prayer and do sujood on whatever is on the ground, according to Sayyid Sistani. But other marajas, different points of view. Okay?
So you cannot do sujood on your hand.
No. There's no. There's
In
no.
our childhood, we were told. But I've left.
Actually,
Why you do your thumbs?
why would it be okay to do sujood on hand? Actually, it should be more haram than any other thing. Because we don't do sujood, generally the sujood is on anything that is the turab or grown from the turab, except for living that can be eaten or worn. So actually this would be very low on the list. The mattress would be more likely, you know,
But you know,
or the sometimes they say the sleeve. But Sayyid Sistani say you can do on anything.
In the Masjid al-Haram,
Yes.
because I mean, especially in Medina,
Yes.
it's all carpeted. I mean, there's no way that you can,
Okay.
Anyway, I asked an Irani sheikh, that he was an Irani sheikh, and I asked him, I mean, so he told me, put your thumbs together and do it there.
In Masjid al-Haram, it is marble, okay, but it is coated with a self-reflective.
Inside the Prophet's mosque.
some
Yes.
places you
Yeah.
just
No,
can't.
No. The
Yes,
Prophet's mosque,
I will come.
especially,
Yeah.
it's all carpeted.
Yeah,
there's no way.
I have been
In the new extension, yes,
Yes.
you will find places where there's no carpet and you can do it on.
Generally, in Masjid Haram, it is marble, but it is the up layer is not marble. It is some form of plastic, so it is lacquer. So it is actually not allowed to do sujood on. But there is a fatwa for only Masjid Haram saying you can do sujood on that
Plastic.
place. The Masjid Haram is okay.
Yeah.
Now we
On
come
the
to
carpet.
Masjid Nabawi.
On the carpet.
No. On the
Marble.
on the
Lacquer.
marble, on on the marble. In Masjid Nabawi, there is carpet. But generally speaking, if you are in a place where you count, for example, in like 10, 20 years ago, they would take the person out if they realize or doubt they are Shia or they say a turba. They used to hate them actually. Now it's not a problem.
Yeah,
You can actually get a turba, and I personally, when I went to Hajj, I had a turba with me every place I went. I did pray on turba in Masjid Nabawi every day, and I one time was in Rawda, and in Rawda, if you know, people like they stand in line to go into Rawda, and they allow them in batches, and there are like 20 or 30 what they call mutawwi'a, Saudis standing there, very beautiful faces, mashallah, and they will time people and they will throw them out. I was there and I was doing sujood and I didn't realize that everyone was out. I swear I was the only person who left. When I raised my head and they saw the sajda, they were absolutely
Happy.
furious. It was unbelievable. And they say, what is that? I told them, this is Turbat Imam Hussein alayhi salam. Very clearly. I picked it up and I walked out. They didn't say anything. Now they looked at me very badly. And maybe if it was like 20 years ago, I would have had like a night over and tahqiq and questioning. But because now with the social media, they are really worried about people filming and uploading it online. So I was there, never did they hit any person. Even I went to the qabr of Rasulullah and I was touching it, and they couldn't even touch me. They were saying things like this is shirk, but they couldn't touch. In the olden times, they used to have a stick and they used to hit people, and actually people who lingered, they used to take for questioning. And it's actually not about questioning; it's just about like giving you trouble.
2011, when I was doing my Salah, I had an Irani Sheikh there, and Irani said there, I was literally within my like
Protected.
There's so many that there's the ulmas.
Yes.
You know, the Muhammad, with the Amama. And so I was like very, home.
Okay. Let's quickly finish. In the third rak'ah we have Subhanallah walhamdulillah wa la ilaha illallah wallahu akbar. One time, isn't it? Subhanallah walhamdulillah wa la ilaha illallah wallahu akbar. One time. Mustahab to do it more? Yes. 3 times, 5, 7 times. Other option, if you don't want to say this, you can say Surah Al-Fatiha once. Okay? Third and fourth rak'ah. Now we come to Tashahhud. Surah Al-Tashahhud. After you sit down, you have to say 3 sentences. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. Right? وحده لا شريك له. وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. Actually, I think I have it. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له. وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. Do not change any letter. Do not say وأشهد أن محمدا رسوله وعبده. Okay? Do not say وأشهد أن محمدا صلى الله عليه وآله عبده ورسوله. Don't say anything extra. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. Don't even say اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد. Don't say it. Say اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد as it is. In Tashahhud, some people say ربي صل على محمد. It's wrong. وعلى آل. It's wrong. Okay. أشهد أن لا إله or أن لا إله. أن لا إله or أن لا إله. It's best to say أن لا إله. Okay? أشهد أن محمد رسول الله. Okay. Now, before doing tashahhud, some people say بسم الله وبالله وخير الأسماء لله. Do you do any of these? Okay, there's no need, because there are some details about it. One of them is actually a problem. If you don't say it correctly, you might have different meaning. Okay, I'm not going to go into details. In tashahhud, in second rak'ah, when we're standing up, we say Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad wa taqabbal shafa'atahu warfa' darajatahu. Do you say it? Okay. Some people say wa taqabbal shafa'atahu fi ummatihi. Actually, the right way, wa taqabbal shafa'atahu warfa' darajatahu. Don't say fi ummatihi. It doesn't bother them. It's okay. But the way that was mentioned in hadith, wa taqabbal shafa'atahu warfa' darajatahu.
So before tashahhud, can you say Alhamdulillah?
Yes, it is mustahab to say Alhamdulillah or Bismillah wa Alhamdulillah. That's actually what I was going to say. Bismillah wa billah wa Alhamdulillah wa khairu al-asma'i lillah. Or Bismillah wa billah wa Alhamdulillah al-asma'u al-husna kulluha lillah. Okay? It's all accepted. There is one form, so either this or that. Okay? Or Bismillah. You might say only Bismillah, or Bismillah walhamdulillah, or only Alhamdulillah, okay? Or the whole thing. But don't mix and match, because when you mix and match, there is one form. I'm not going to say it, because if I say it, you might memorize it. It voids the whole thing. It has, yes, there is one form, it's mixed of both, and it has different meaning. So the meaning would be actually, instead of raising
Don't
the
make
light,
one
would be...
sentence, you follow the sentence.
Okay, finally, as-salam, salutation. A proper way to say, how do you say it? Assalamu alayka ayyuha nabi wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is all not part of salam, by the way. It is mustahab to say it before the salam. Okay? So, if you don't want to say it, that's fine. If you started saying it and then realized, I shouldn't be doing salam now, I still have another rak'ah. Okay? If you haven't started the next part, this is accepted. It is like dhikr. You continue your salah, you stand up, and you don't have to do anything. Okay?
Not even sajda is.
Not even sajdat sahu. Sajdat sahu for these. Because now the actual sentence of salam is one of two. Assalamu alayna wa ala ibadillahi as-salihin. That's enough. Or assalamu alaykum. That's enough. It's enough to say assalamu alaykum. It is mustahab if you say assalamu alaykum to say wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It is more mustahab if to say before it assalamu alayna wa ala ibadillahi as-salihin. So we say this whole thing. We say assalamu alayka ayyuhan nabi wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Assalamu alayna wa ala ibadillahi as-salihin. Assalamu alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. When in reality we're saying two salams. Either of these is enough, and the first one is all extra. Okay? So if you are doing the bare minimum salah when you are like running short of time, or you don't have to. Maybe you just don't want to spend that much time with something. It's enough to say assalamu alaykum. Okay? Sayyid Sistani say this, it is enough. Sayyid Khamenei or Sayyid Khomeini say it is not enough to say assalamu alaykum. You have to say wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So according to Sayyid Khomeini, this is the shortest. According to Sayyid Sistani, assalamu alaykum is the shortest. So if you are very short on time, after التشهد أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد السلام عليكم. That's it. You've just done salam. Okay? Now this is salam. I think. Is there anything I need to say about salam recommended for the portion?
Don't turn your
I
head.
think salam alaikum.
You know, you used to have to do it slightly like, not to turn it, but yes, with the eyes. Is it about that? You must have to, like, you know, not like that.
Yes, but
just
move your eyes
with the eyes.
around.
Yes,
I'm not sure.
it is. Nothing.
Yeah.
Not
Not
turning.
just like that.
No. In the eyes, in
Jamaat.
something like that.
They do proper like a Sunnism. They don't just turn and
Ah.
just look, and they just do like that.
That's the problem. Something is allowed, but then you try to make it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Muhammad, just last thing. What do you recite in Sajda Sahu?
Sujood sahu.
Sajda Sahu.
Yes, sahu. When you make a mistake,
Yeah.
add or
Is it after the salam when you finish with?
yes, after we finish the salah,
Yeah.
it is do sujood, right? You don't have to say anything during the sujood. It's just do sujood proper way, 7 masajid on the ground,
Yeah.
sit up, do another sujood, then sit up, and then you say at-tashahhud and the salam. It is mustahab during the sujood to say Assalamu alayka ayyuhan nabi wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Then you sit up, then you go second sujood, Assalamu alayka ayyuhan nabi wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. You know what that means? Assalam, salutation be upon you, Prophet, wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It is mustahab, you don't have to do it. You can just do sujood without saying anything. When you sit, you do tashahhud. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluhu. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Then you do salam with the short form, the last one. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is according to Sistani. Okay? I think finally I have notes from Sayyid Sistani about Salah. I'm going to read them very quickly. Please listen very passionately about what he's saying. Say, be very keen on saying the prayers at their prescribed times. In this regard, remember the hadith tradition from Imam Ja'far al-Sadiq. The precedence of the onset of the time of prayer over saying it at the end of that time is similar to the precedence of hereafter over this word. Meaning, saying a prayer at the first time is like it has fazl over saying it at the last time, as if the akhirah has fazl over this word. So how great the akhirah is compared to this. That is how great Salah at the first time compared to last time. Then he say, when getting ready for prayer, the appearance should assume a dimension of humility and submissiveness. Recite the holy verse. قد أفلح المؤمنون الذين هم في صلاتهم خاشعون. Successful indeed are the believers who are humble in their prayers. Imam Sajjad used to tremble when he was doing wudu. Say, what is wrong with you? He said, don't you know who I'm going to stand in the hand of? Make a habit of praying, of paying great attention to the proper execution of all the actions and utterances of prayer, be it a pause, silence, or posture, or the sequence or continuance of movement and utterances. Okay, so make it a habit to pay great attention. Do your best in executing the recitation of the 2 chapters of the Holy Quran during prayer by giving due attention to the proper pronunciation of the letters in a word and the word itself in relation to other words in a particular verse. Treat other utterances in the same way. After a prayer, ask for God's forgiveness for yourself, for parents, for relatives, and your brethren. Also, use the rosary, Eid, chant the praise for Allah Almighty subhanahu wa ta'ala with tasbihah to Sayyid al-Zahra, alayhi salatu wassalam. And finally, I will add, don't forget to pray for our Imam Sahib al-Zaman, so may Allah hasten his appearance. And we say, inshallah, Allah will accept this and will hasten the appearance of our Imam with the list of your salawat.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
All of these, by the way, can be found on the website of Sayyid Sistani if you want. There is one book in English called Jurisprudence Made Easy, and there is one called Islamic Laws. This is more detailed than this one. If you want to freshen your memory, mark down these websites and go there when you have time and have a quick look. It's very, especially the second one is very summarized. Okay? You're most welcome.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Next week.
Okay. Can I say something? We have finished now wudu and salah. Okay? There are many chapters of fiqh that we might cover later, like tahara, nijasa, ghusl, and even some before Shahr Ramadan. But I prefer now to take a pause from fiqh and maybe we focus on something else, so you have time to digest all these and practice it, and don't get like sometimes it gets boring with too much fiqh.
Mix it up. Mix
Yes.
it up a little.
So I suggest maybe next time someone, if wanna step forward and be in charge, and maybe we talk about biography of Ahlul Bayt or history, or maybe not one, we all prepare something, each person prepares something about, say, one Ma'soom. We have the Shahadat Imam al-Hadi coming in about 1 month, Shahadat Imam al-Kadhim after a week, and then we'll add other Ma'soomin. Maybe we decide before we come, next week we're going to talk about Imam Kadhim. Each person might prepare a hadith, a story. It doesn't have to be long, it might be like 1 minute. When you prepare, you are like more